All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started. Looks like we have a nice crowd that's joined. Okay, so thank you so much for joining this morning. I appreciate everyone taking the time out to join our webinar. You are here to learn about the best practices of omni-channel user experiences. And let us begin with some brief introductions here. So again, my name is Jason Vasilas. I am the Associate Director of User Experience here at Usability Sciences. I've been with this company for 10 plus years, a lot of experience in this domain. I am a lead researcher here at the company. I'm very much involved in running projects for our clients. I've completed over 175 studies in the past 10 years of an extensive variety of different methodologies. And I'm also the founder of the company's Omni-Channel Research Solution. So if you aren't familiar with us, Usability Sciences, we are a full-service user experience testing consultancy, and we feature both lab and online services to meet our clients' needs. We run over 200 user experience projects annually and have been in business for the past 25 years, located here in Dallas, Texas. So today we're going to begin by just discussing the background of Omni-Channel, just to get everyone on the same page. We'll briefly discuss the background there. Then we'll spend a little bit of time just touching on the different research methods that we employ when our clients come to us with Omni-Channel research needs. And then the bulk of this presentation will really pertain to the best practices of Omni-Channel user experiences that we have gathered along the way. All right, so let's begin by just defining Omni-Channel for those that may not have a very clear picture of what we mean by Omni-Channel. Omni-Channel really is the user expectation that as they interact with all of a company's numerous channels, be it the brick and mortar store, the website, a mobile site or app, email communications, or social media, they really expect one consistent and seamless experience that's available wherever and whenever. So users don't generally make the distinction between a company and who may be in charge of what department or what channel, what organization. They really expect one experience as they move between channels and really just want whatever is most convenient or timely from their perspective. Some of the ways we see this play out in terms of what consumers expect as they interact with the company. This is especially relevant in the retail world. Users may buy something online and expect to be able to either pick it up in store or ship it to store, really moving from the digital domain to the physical store and having one seamless experience. Users may also locate various promotions or coupons online and expect to be able to redeem those or have them honored in store. Users may, in fact, be in a store, see a product they're interested in, and if it's not available in the correct size or color that they're wanting, they may expect to have the store be able to order those products online and send them either to the store or to their home. And we may see a user interact with a company's site on a tablet, begin a shopping experience, and then later in the day or later in the shopping journey, continue that experience on a different device and expect to have a seamless experience from where they had left off with the tablet. And really the list goes on and on. These are just a handful of different examples of how consumers expect to interact with the company's various channels and have a seamless and consistent experience. So this on-demand mindset has largely been fueled by the emergence of mobile technology, which we all are very aware of at this point. Some very interesting statistics that we pulled as of recently. 57% of internet usage in the US is now conducted via smartphone. And for the first time in history, that is surpassing the amount of internet usage on desktop computers. 84% of store visitors use their devices either before or during a shopping trip, with 36% of those connecting while in store. And finally, digital devices are predicted to influence 50% of in-store purchases by the end of this year. So really no surprise here, but mobile is definitely on the rise and very much changing the way users expect to be able to interact with the company and what they expect from those experiences. So another statistic that has especially retailers very concerned is that year over year there has been a decline in the time spent shopping in store, a decline of 14.3% in the past 8 or so years, while there has been a tremendous growth of sales online, specifically 16.9% just in the past year or so. So as a result of this very much changing expectations and the shift in trends, we are seeing a lot of retailers in particular take this omni-channel strategy very, very seriously. And some major retailers have been making headlines by really reorganizing their company and taking a look at converging the online side of things with the physical sales, and looking at ways to really optimize that cross-channel experience and present an omni-channel experience in which users can reliably move across channels with ease. So that's a bit of background on omni-channel. Now let's touch on the research methods that we employ when clients have omni-channel research needs. So these are 4 of the primary methods that we utilize, and customer journey research, usability tests, field studies, and focus groups. These are all excellent methods of performing research around omni-channel. And what we found is this is very much a highly customized and a multi-phase approach. So depending on what your needs are, what questions you may have answered, it's recommended that taking these primary methods and coming up with very customized studies is the way to go. So let's touch on each one of these briefly. Customer journey research, this is an excellent method to perform early in the process when you're really wanting to understand how users are interacting with the different channels. What we often recommend is either a storyboard study or a diary study, and both of these are really methods of collecting feedback on the experience of the customer's journey. So as they move from device to device or from channel to channel, we want to find out what that experience is like. Why to do this, especially early on? It really answers the question, how and where are users interacting with us, and what are those experiences like? Usability tests, which is something we have done very heavily here at Usability Sciences over the years. These are an excellent method to get a very granular look at the experience, especially in the digital domain, the experience of the website or websites or apps across devices. So what we often recommend is performing one-on-one sessions where it is a cross-device format. We have users come into the lab and take a look at a website or app and go from device to device, so that not only do you get to explore some of the trouble spots, but you also get to get a little insight into the comparative experience. So why to do it? Really to answer the questions on how our experiences are holding up in the digital realm, and where the blockers are to success, and also what the transition is like between channels. Field studies are an excellent method to get in context or in the moment feedback, and these can be designed in a very traditional manner in which researchers or facilitators are in the field and can meet with users and have them perform a number of tasks and get feedback on the experience. But there are also new emerging technologies that allow survey collection on mobile devices, and the caveat here is that now we have the ability to geo-fence particular areas, such as large retailers, and intercept users as they enter the building and collect some feedback on the experience, on their shopping experience, both from the physical standpoint of the in-store experience as well as what they may or may not be doing with their mobile devices or other digital channels in the store. So why to do it? Of course, to answer the question, how do our experiences hold up in the real world? The context of use, really understanding the digital to physical transition. And finally, focus groups. Excellent method of gathering feedback from a group perspective. And really this is geared around a couple different goals here. Answering the question on what users expect from features of each of the channels, especially when we talk about the digital channels. So which features belong where, mobile, tablet, desktop, and also which new concepts resonate best with users. So performing focus groups, especially in the context of a multi-phase approach, doing this later, this is a great way to test new ideas that have come up to best meet user needs as they move across channels. So really the value proposition here in doing customer journey research, usability tests, field studies, and focus groups, it's really about assessing user needs, looking for the gaps in the processes, exploring solutions, all of which allows us to create greater user experiences. So now we're going to spend some time talking about some best practices of omni-channel user experience. And again, these have been pulled from numerous studies and project completions that we've done over the years, especially in the past year or two when the topic of omni-channel and cross-channel has really got on the radar of a lot of our clients and a lot of companies in general. So the best practices, we've got 4 of them here for this webinar today, are unified, seamless, targeted, and core features. So as users move across channels and interact with the company's various channels, the best practices dictate that these are things that should be met. And we're going to delve into each one of these in some detail here. So best practice number 1, unified. One brand, one voice, and different channels. And what we mean here is that users really do expect a consistent experience in terms of the verbiage, look and feel, the images, the color scheme, etc. All of that is really important, especially when we look at the digital domain. So whether it's a mobile site or a mobile app and a full desktop site, users do expect a consistent experience. So let's look at some examples. We'll start with a positive example. This is USAA, and this is the mobile site. And now we'll take a look at the desktop site, desktop version of the site. And as you can see, color scheme is consistent, imagery is consistent, the verbiage, the tone, a very consistent cross-channel experience. So whether you interact with the mobile site or the desktop site, you've got a reliable expectation there that you have a reliable experience. Now another example here, a not so consistent and not so unified example. This is opentable.com, the full desktop site. And now we have the mobile site and also the mobile app. And as you can see, especially between the desktop version and the mobile versions, is that we have a very different design, look and feel, the color palette is different, not a very consistent experience. But there's also some additional things here that make for a less than unified experience. On the desktop site, there's the option for the same day in the same restaurant here for more reservation options. Whereas on the mobile site, you've got a much more limited amount of reservations. Now in reality, there is a way to get to the additional time slots, but for a user that may go from one channel to another channel, at first glance, it looks like there are different options provided on both. We also have some other differences here that make for a less than reliable experience. With the mobile site, we have a menu and review options presented here. In the mobile app, they're located elsewhere. and again with the desktop site also located elsewhere. So different design techniques there that just make for a less than ideal experience in terms of unified and reliable. Let's take a look at another example here. This is a great example. This is Ulta.com on the desktop. Now we look at it here on the mobile site. Here we look at an email promotion sent from Ulta and also a social media post from their Facebook page. And as you can see, the look and feel, the imagery, the tone, all very consistent. So definitely communications from the same company. And this was taken around Mother's Day, these screenshots here. Best practice number 2, a continuous experience across channels. So what we mean here is users, as they go through their day-to-day activities, they may be using a variety of different devices. A very common thing here. And in doing so, users expect a seamless experience across those devices. So while, for example, beginning a shopping experience, users may start on one device, later continue that experience on another device, and finalize the experience or make a purchase on yet another device. So all the reason to really ensure that experiences hold up across devices. So let's take a look at some examples here. Starting with the positive example, this is Express.com. And while shopping on Express.com, once you find a product of interest, you can add it to your cart. You may get distracted or decide you want to continue that process later. This is an actual experience here. I was shopping for some new t-shirts, and later in the evening, I went to Express.com on my home computer and looked in my cart, and there was the product that I'd added for my mobile earlier in the day. And this is a great example of a seamless experience. Another great example here is what Kindle and Audible have done. So they have teamed up to provide a very seamless experience in terms of enjoying your favorite books. With the Kindle ebook, when you buy an ebook, you have the option to also purchase professional narration via Audible. And what this allows is for a very synchronized experience. So let's take a look at the day in the life, and here we have a particular user who is going to be reading a book or listening to a book in a variety of different settings. And as this user moves throughout her day, she's able to switch between devices or channels and remain on the same page. So basically picking up where she left off. Very seamless and continuous experience. Great example here. Now we'll show you an example that is not quite as seamless. This is American Airlines, and this is the app, the mobile app. So the other day I logged into my app. I needed to update my address. So I clicked on the Manage My Account feature, and I was then shown a screen that prompting for my password. I wasn't quite sure why I was entering my password since I was already logged into the app, but I went in and did so. I was then prompted with an option to open up a browser, so I went ahead and followed along. This then took me over to the mobile site, so I left the app and went over to the mobile site. I didn't realize that was happening at first, but then I was presented with an error screen which indicated I was attempting to log in but had not entered my username and password. And from the user standpoint, well, I'd already done that actually several times now, once when I started the app, but then also when I tapped on Manage My Account. So even though I was going to another channel, it was interrupting that process. I went ahead and entered my username and password, and then I was left on the home page, of which I had to look throughout the page and then locate again the My Account section. So a couple problems here. One, I wasn't given any warning that I was going to be moving between the app and the site. And then the other issue was that I had to, from my perspective, log back in. So not a very seamless, continuous experience there across channels. And I will say that since the time we've created these screenshots, American Airlines has done an update and now allows the username and password to be carried across to the mobile site, but there still isn't any indication that this particular feature of managing my account can't be done on the app, and that users will be routed over to the site to do so. Best practice number 3, targeted. And what we mean by targeted is that features should be prioritized based on the channel or the context of use. So again, looking at the day in the life of a user, as they interact with different devices, presenting them with a reprioritized or a subset of features on each of the devices is really what may be best in terms of meeting the user's needs, in terms of where they are, what they're doing, and what they may want from the experience of dealing with your site or your app. So let's look at a couple examples here. Before we look at the examples, rather, as a general rule of thumb, tablet experience is really all based around exploration, and users are typically using tablets in the evening in a more leisurely approach. Whereas on the other end of the spectrum, we have the mobile use, and users really come to expect a very efficient experience, get in, get out, do whatever they may need to do at that point in time. So now for some examples. A great example here of a targeted experience is Home Depot. And Home Depot has done a lot to really think about which devices or which channels users may be interacting with and in which contexts. So let's take a look at the home use and the store use, in-store use of the various websites here. Starting with the tablet site. So on the tablet site, really thinking about the fact that most users are using tablets in a home setting, Home Depot has designed a particular feature called See This in Your Home, also known as augmented reality. And this feature, available in the tablet site, comes up when you find a product of interest and allows you to then superimpose that product in your home. This screenshot is actually in my office here, and allows you to superimpose it to really give you an idea how the product would look, if it would work with your decor or your home improvement goals. And what better medium than the tablet and the tablet's camera to use to really drive this home and allow you to use, get a nice large screen there, get an idea of whether or not you're interested in the product. Now let's take a look at the mobile experience. They've really considered that users are going to be using their mobile devices in-store, and they've encouraged that. So there is an in-store experience mode on the mobile app. And the other day, while I was in Home Depot, I decided to try this out. So using my mobile phone and opening up a browser, I was automatically prompted with a message that there was free Wi-Fi available in the store. And they encouraged me to then download their app, and I figured I'd give it a try. So I downloaded the Home Depot app. And in doing so, it prompted me with the option to continue with the in-store experience. So very interested in seeing what that was all about. In doing so, they really thought about targeting which features would be of most use to me. And the first feature that was very handy was a store layout, store map layout for the particular store that I was in. All of this being triggered by the geolocation services on my phone. So that was very handy. I was able to immediately walk over and find the product I was looking for. In this case, I was shopping for outdoor grills. And there was another really handy feature, and that was that the app had a scanner in it. And the scanner allowed me to scan the tag of the product itself, which gave me immediate access to the user reviews. And this is something that very realistically, when I'm looking at purchases, especially in this price range, I'm going to be doing my due diligence and looking through user reviews online, usually from home. So by having access to the user reviews in the store, it really expedited the process, and I was able to make my selection right there in the store. So an excellent example of a very targeted experience based on which device or which channel I'd be interacting with and in which context. Best practice number 4, core features. And what we mean here is that core features should be available across channels. So we take a look at the the digital channels here, desktop, mobile, and tablet. And regardless of how you choose to target those features and prioritize them based on user need, there are core features that should be replicated reliably across each of the different devices. And this really is to ensure that customers' primary needs, especially when it comes to shopping, are being met. So let's take a look at some examples here. First, we'll start with a not-so-great example. This is Tom Thumb, the app for Tom Thumb. And for those on the webinar here that may not be familiar with Tom Thumb, a large grocery store chain here in the southern part of the US. So this is another real experience. I was in my Tom Thumb app and trying to access some coupons and deals there. And I couldn't remember my username and password, so I was glad that I was prompted or given the option to get some assistance here. A core feature of an app many would consider is the ability to retrieve your username and password. So I gave it a try and was then presented with a screen that explained that I'd need to go to open up a mobile browser. So at least I was given a heads up that I was going to be leaving the app and continuing the experience elsewhere. And so I gave it a shot. But then what came up here was the actual full website on my mobile browser, which made for a very difficult time making out the different fields there. I had to do a lot of pinching and zooming, get in to be able to actually enter in my username and password. Less than ideal that I had been directed to the full version, full desktop version of that site when moving from one channel to the next. So password reset was not available within the app, and the forgot password screen was not optimized for the mobile experience. But another problem exists here, and it was the fact that I didn't remember my username. So going back to the app, I was then directed to make a phone call to customer service, which is another channel altogether. So now I'm generating, from the company standpoint, generating another phone call, which just means more hours, more money, and more assistance that needs to be given to customers over the phone versus something that ideally could just be done within the app itself. Now let's take a look at a good example here of a company that has core features replicated across channels. This is Levi's.com, and in shopping for jeans, you may decide that you need some assistance with the fit or the sizing. And on the desktop site, they provide you with a fit guide, very handy, explaining the different cuts and sizing options there. If you visit the mobile site, you get the same thing here, a fit guide, all of which outlines the different product types and some of the key dimensions and measurements there. Now in store, that same core feature of assistance with the fit and the size provided right here with consistent branding on signage, again, all of which helps you better determine which fit and size you're looking for. So that is a great example of a core feature replicated across channels. So in conclusion here, taking a look at the growing demand for ensuring omni-channel needs are met, cross-channel needs, really ensuring that they're met. The best way to do that, of course, is by performing omni-channel research. And again, taking a look at the primary methods that we've outlined earlier. Doing these things really help you come to a place where your sites and apps or your in-store experiences are unified, seamless, targeted, and reliably present the core features across channels. So that is it for our webinar today.